Oh shit! Looking at the EU referendum results in the morning and seeing social media react, I was terrified. I was thinking, fuck! I have to take my dog for a walk. I can't go outside, it's bloody chaos. I mean, I've seen 28 Days Later and Chernobyl documentaries, and judging by the reactions, what's happening outside is definitely a cross between the two, but times by 11. So I kitted myself out. Oxygen tank, biohazard suit, cricket bat, strapped a gas mask onto my dog, hot glued a bayonet to her forehead, and I braved the apocalypse. Leaving the house, I immediately saw my 78-year-old neighbour with her hand up. She was saying something I couldn't hear properly, my suit muffled the sounds, but I assume it was something along the lines of brains. To be fair, it could have been good morning like she says every day, but I couldn't take the risk. So in self-defense, I redecorated the front drive with a fucking skull juice. The husband then came out trying to take a bite out of me. Luckily, my dog had my back and went straight for the gonads. Yeah! Bayonet to the dick! Take that, zombie genitals! From what I've learned watching zombie films, I knew noise attracted more of them, so I quickly continued on my dog walk. But just walking down my street, I was in tears from all the murdering and raping that was going on. Again, I couldn't really hear anything in the suit, and my mask was obstructing my vision, so I couldn't see all that well. But what I thought was going on was certainly upsetting indeed. If I had to guess, I'd say it was white skinheads wearing Union flag capes beating up all the foreign NHS workers onto a cramped train to Auschwitz, but that was only if I had to guess. I was halfway through my walk when I noticed a small rip in my suit. I was in a panic, but I knew I was done for. I've been breathing in the air, I'm already infected. So I decided to go out the way of Will Smith in I Am Legend. I strangled my dog and started taking off the suit in acceptance of my demise. But when I removed the mask and gazed into what I thought would be an apocalyptic wasteland, I saw that there were no fallen jets, no erupted volcanoes, the sun wasn't blood red, and there were no locust swarms eating crops. Actually, it was quite a beautiful day with only a couple rapes happening. So as soon as I got a replacement dog, buried my neighbours, I went back to my computer and had a very big chuckle over the comments I was seeing. And I'm both loving and hating my Facebook newsfeed. I love it because the reactions are hilarious. I hate it because it kind of makes me scared for when my generation comes into power. Who knows what will happen. But first, just a quick look into how the night went out. The Gibraltar result came in first, being an hour ahead of everyone, and voted very much in favour of remaining. Then Newcastle came in with a narrow win for Remain also. However, Sunderland voted leave, and quite significantly. Throughout the night, there was a bit of a back and forth going on. Leave was ahead, and then Remain would catch up, but Leave would take the lead again until those cunts in London voted heavily for Juncker and Merkel's sex tape. But ultimately, in the end, people of Great Britain said, no, we don't want to watch Merkel take the money shot. We want out. And to that I say, we've won! I'm so happy! Fuck you, Cameron. Fuck you, Obama, trying to relate more to the British public by changing the word line to Q. Fuck you, Matt Damon. Fuck you, Chris Martin, who a surprising number of people say are look-alike. And fuck you, all you desperate, petty cunts, resorting to labelling us as racist and xenophobic instead of providing counter-arguments. There's a time where that tactic would have worked, but the normal people can see through that and just get frustrated when you use the equivalent of, oh, look over there, and leg it rather than debating. This is a pushback against an authoritarian political union, against the establishment, against the status quo, against anti-democratic values, and Britain is the country to set it all in motion. This could very well be the end of the EU, with other nations calling for their vote to follow us out the door. I'm very proud to be British today. Unlike a lot of people in the Remain camp who seem to be very #ashamed to be British. Such as Alan. Stopped off at LA on the way home from Vegas to discover it looks like Brexit is going to win. Seriously, I may just stay here, at least until USA votes in Trump. The world has gone mad. If this is all about being proud to be British, then I'm sorry, but I'm not proud to be part of a country that wants to get all the foreigners out. Can't believe a decision this important has come down to this one factor. Is Farage our Trump? Would the last person to leave please turn the lights off? Hashtag ashamed to be British. Oh, Alan, stay in the USA, you cunt. Can't believe a decision this important has come down to this one factor of get the foreigners out. Did you gamble away the last of your brain cells whilst in Vegas? Don't put all you have on one number. Spread it out. Cover more ground and maybe you'll have won a few spins and you still have a fucking brain in your nut. Yes, 4 months of campaigning was just one side shaking their fists yelling, "Oh, bloody foreigners." Oh good, we've got to branding people as racists already. Well, the losers and racists win. Why are you a loser? Because anyone who blames someone else for their own ineptitude rather than accepting their own lack of effort is a loser. Hang on, is this a leftist saying this? I hope he's not a feminist who believes in the gender pay gap, thinking it's sexism that stops women from being CEOs and competing for top jobs, because if so, then that'd be slightly hypocritical of him. Nah, feminists are never hypocritical. But you're right, Paul. Those British fishermen who had their rights to fish in our own waters taken away to protect other European fishing industries, they're just fucking losers, aren't they? Christ. Why are you a racist? Because when I drive past posters that say we want our country back, it implies that there is a we in the first place. There isn't. I don't want my name associated with Farage or Johnson with their xenophobic comments. Oh, come on. It's not racist to want our country back, meaning taking sovereignty away from the EU and giving it back to us. And what xenophobic comments have Farage and Boris been saying? I mean, the only thing I can really kind of find is when Farage didn't condemn a guy who referred to Chinese takeaway as grabbing a chinky, with pictures of people fleeing bombs. They weren't using devastating action shots from the war. They were showing an influx of millions of immigrants, who many aren't even refugees but economic migrants, who Merkel and Juncker have invited in, and they're stating that they're the ones who've brought them to our doorstep. It's always easier to blame others than accept the truth. So true, Paul. It's also much easier to yell racist at people who bring up immigration issues instead of considering their opinions and studying the facts. And on my own feed, I see people slamming down on their keyboard in all capitals saying, "You idiots! I hate Britain!" I mean, my word! The backlash from the Remain camp has been incredibly childish. Oh, it turns out it's because they basically are children. And the Remain camp themselves are using this fact as some kind of battle axe. According to YouGov, 75% of 18 to 24-year-olds voted Remain. And it's their future. You know that saying, your parents know best? Well, it's because they fucking do. Young adults don't know the world enough and need guidance from more experienced people. Do you know who that is? Older people! I don't even know what point this is. UK government, please ignore everyone over the age of 30? All baby boomers, you should have conversed with your local university, then voted accordingly? I wouldn't trust 75% of millennials with deciding the future of a fucking ant farm, let alone the country. Oh, what would you like for lunch, dear? Peanut butter sandwich. No, sorry, Munchkin, but you're allergic to peanuts. How about a jam sandwich instead? Tim? What the fuck are you doing? Making our little princess a jam sandwich? She just said she wanted peanut butter. Are you serious? She's going to die. It's her future, Tim. It's her future. I know you love her and you may think you know best, being older, more knowledgeable and experienced in life, but she's to choose what she wants regardless. And this, oh, I just found this Sickening. The end row. Average number of years they have to live with the decision? 16. Yeah, fucking hell, old people. You're gonna be dead soon anyway. Stop telling me what you think is best for my future with your fucking knowledge and experience and love for the future of the country and not giving a shit about how slightly more expensive holidays to Spain will be. Young adults, less experience with the EU, want to stay. Older adults, more experience with the EU, want to leave. Strange that, isn't it? But hey, millennials, you can always move to Scotland because J.K. Rowling predicts the future. Scotland will seek independence now. Cameron's legacy will be breaking up 2 unions. Neither needed to happen. Oh, fuck J.K. Rowling. Literally, she's one tasty piece of crumpet. And figuratively. In fact, put her in the list of names I gave to fuck at the start. I didn't give a female example and think she'll fill the void nicely. But to be fair, maybe she isn't wrong because Nicola Sturgeon jumped at this opportunity to say this.
Lastly, let me address the issue of a second independence referendum. The manifesto that the SNP was elected on last month said this: the Scottish Parliament should have the right to hold another referendum if there is a significant and material change in the circumstances that prevailed in 2014, such as Scotland being taken out of the EU against our will. Scotland does now face that prospect. It is a significant and material change in circumstances, and it is therefore a statement of the obvious that the option of a second referendum must be on the table, and it is on the table.
Oh, Christ. Okay, 2 females to fuck. But this one only figuratively. It's a statement of the obvious that the option for a second referendum must be on the table, and it is on the table. Such a demanding cunt. Every time an Englishman turns his nose up to a plate of haggis, the SNP are demanding a motherfucking referendum. The only way it's on the table is if it's being used as a paperweight to stop real issues being blown away from the hot air you're spouting. You had a referendum 2 years ago, and the majority said no. Quite convincingly at that. And who'll agree to give you one? No party wants to be the reason the UK splits, and certainly not the Conservatives now, after I'm assuming a pro-Brexiter would take charge and she wouldn't want to be proven wrong by letting Scotland slip away. But let's say you do manage to hacksaw your way through Britain and pry yourself apart. You're not getting in the EU. In 2014, Spain and Belgium were planning to veto you joining the first time you threatened to leave. Nothing has changed their mind in 2 years. But the real question is, why would you want to be part of the EU now the UK is leaving? We're one of the biggest pillars holding up the EU ceiling. There's a high chance of it collapsing when you remove us, especially with the other countries being just as Eurosceptic as ours and wanting to leave too. Don't walk into a collapsing building hoping to replace the marble pillar with a mite-infested wooden pole that is Lone Scotland. I mean, no offence Scotland, but you're more of a package deal. And Northern Ireland, just calm down and do whatever it is Northern Irish do. What do they do? I expected a big backlash from the losing side regardless of who it was. I'm just very glad it wasn't the Leave side for obvious reasons. And also no one bitches on social media quite like millennials, so this has been thoroughly entertaining. Britain, we've made the right choice. Defending our democratic values is the most important thing we can do. And for the first time ever really, and this is the same for a lot of other people, for the first time ever, I felt truly patriotic. I've always loved Britain, this is my home, but now when I see headlines in the news mentioning Brexit, or just thinking about my country, a massive smile grows on my face. I'm going to go watch the football, tuck into my bangers mash and mushy peas pie, with a warm beer, fuck it, 2 warm beers, while I complain about the weather and listen to the national anthem in my Union Jack suit. GG, GB. GG.